Well, what a surprise. Fox's robots are trying to divert our attention from real issues.
Comment that we've been talking about all night. We got Joe Biden saying a woman on a ticket that might be vice president is a step back for women. Bill Burton, the campaign spokesperson, attacked the honor of John McCain, who spent 5.5 years in a prisoner of war camp, saying that last week John McCain told Time magazine he couldn't define what honor was. Now we know why. Now, why am I reading this? And 30 lawyers and 30 investigators sent to Alaska to smear Sarah Palin, the Obama smear machine. Why do I sense they're beginning to melt down because of these polls?
Well, it's interesting. One thing that's happened is that Palin has sucked the oxygen out of the Obama and Biden capacity to speak. And so what they're doing, in order to be heard, they have to be more outrageous, more extreme in their statements. I think they're using bad judgment in doing that. I think if I were them, I'd rather not be in the story than to be saying stuff that is obviously offending more than 50% of the country. But I think that's probably the dynamic that's working. They're getting a little desperate to be in the story. Biden couldn't do it himself, so Obama was going on the attack against the vice president. So it's amateur hour, frankly.
I agree with that. Very well said. Jennifer, let me read from the Politico. The headline is Obama. Democrats sharpen personal attacks against Sarah Palin, as we now saw. We saw the audience got the joke, calling the vice presidential candidate a pig. The lipstick joke's now been used. But this is what they say. The Obama campaign is part of a calculated effort that they must reckon with Palin and the big public boost that she has provided McCain in the past week. When Palin was first named, the Obama staff attacked and pulled back. Now reflecting the threat posed by Palin, Obama is taking the route of attacking the opposition's number two. Is this strategy going to work?
You know, I thought this was the guy for change. I thought this was the guy who was going to change the way that we campaigned in this country. And what we're seeing is that he's going on the attack. I don't think this is going to work. And the more time he's spending talking about and attacking Sarah Palin, the more people I think are saying, you know, what is there? And every time you turn around, they kind of throw these nasty things at her, which tend to not be true. There's all these horrible things going on the internet, none of which are true.
Let me ask this question.
I think that people are really starting to feel horrible for her, especially women.
Yeah. Carolyn, you know something? I thought this was, as Jennifer points out, about the politics of change. Well, here we have the Wall Street Journal reporting. Here's the headline. A mini army of 30 lawyers, investigators, and op researchers descend upon Alaska. Now, you know and I know why they're there. They want to smear, they want to besmirch, they want to attack, and they want to destroy. The same media that ignored Barack Obama for 19 months, Sarah Palin. How do you think the women of this country will respond to that?
Well, the women of the country have responded in the sense that men support Sarah Palin 9% more than women do in this country. So women are not turning out as I would expect. And in terms of op research, you know, both campaigns have op researchers all over the country.
30 investigators in Alaska?
Hundreds all over the country. That's how presidential campaigns work.
Let me just get this thing about Obama, this idea about this lipstick on the pig thing. It had nothing to do with Sarah Palin.
Look at the crowd.
You know it, Tony. You know it, Jennifer. You know that he was not talking about Sarah Palin. If you look at the context of what he said, it had to do with John McCain appropriating Obama's word change and message change. And that's what he was talking about.
Alan, you make a plausible case, but only a plausible one. I know the phrase lipstick on a pig is an old one, but lipstick being used this week on an animal is the phrase, of course, that Palin made famous last Wednesday.
I don't know.
I won't bet 100% either way, but it's a 50-50 bet they meant it.
Well, I'll go 39 and I'll take it in my favor. By the way, John McCain, Professor, I want to get to you on this. John McCain, after a debate with Mitt Romney during the primary season, said, never get into a wrestling match with a pig. You both get dirty and the pig likes it. Isn't that John McCain calling Mitt Romney a pig?
Well, certainly you can draw that conclusion. And Alan, I can see your conclusion. My gut reaction is that this was not due to chance, that he was actually referring to lipstick on a pig, making that reference to lipstick on a bulldog. However, if you want to talk about the tenor of the campaign and how negative it's getting, you'll have to point the big finger at Sarah Palin and Rudy Giuliani and Fred Thompson, who really lowered the terms, the dialogue in this campaign by making the Republican convention so overwhelmingly negative.
Jennifer, they got up and they gave speeches and they took shots at Democrats, and that's what happens at conventions. And yet you want to turn around and call Democrats negative, as if Republicans, as if, never do Oppo research on Democrats, never send teams to Chicago, never dig up stuff on the other side. You're not aware that that's how campaigns are run?
Alan, it's not a question of whether you do opposition research. Both sides do opposition research. The question is, what do you put out there? Do you put out honest information, or do you put out dishonest information?
I couldn't care less if somebody called Sarah Palin a pig.